Imagine a world where the love you receive from others has no effect on how happy you are. A world where thoughts of you, texts, missed calls, and longing glances have no influence on your emotional state. In the realm of love and relationships, we frequently discover ourselves yearning for the affection and attention of others, thinking that happiness lies in receiving this external affirmation. Stoicism, on the other hand, offers a contradictory perspective by emphasizing self-improvement, encouraging emotional independence, and teaching attachment-free present-moment appreciation. This is a reality that you may live in right now, not a tale from the distant past. The age-old concept of Stoicism has stood the test of time and teaches us that we may achieve inner peace and contentment no matter what external conditions we face. In today's video, we get deeper into the Stoic approach to living and loving. Embracing Stoic concepts might have unexpected consequences on our relationships in addition to making our lives better. In our search of happiness and satisfaction, each portion of the film has been carefully crafted to guide you toward a more stoic and happy way of living. We ask that you please watch it through to the end. Your support means the world to us, as usual. Kindly click the subscribe button as a simple yet useful method to assist. Discover how to become a source of happiness and self-sufficiency and demonstrate to them that you're more than simply a planner or gamer. It's easy to get caught up in the trap of seeking acceptance from others. Particularly in the context of close relationships, we frequently determine our value based on the opinions, reactions, and attention we receive from other people. But what if I told you there was a more sustainable, empowered path to happiness? The Stoic path advises us to focus on the thoughts, deeds, and reactions that we can control and to accept the things, including other people's emotions and behaviors, that we cannot control. This is about learning that true contentment and self-worth come from inside, not from the attention or acceptance of others. It is not about being dispassionate or disinterested. We give up control and become reactive to other people's actions when we put our happiness on their desire or lack thereof, which can lead to an emotional roller coaster. However, Stoicism provides us with the tools to exit this roller coaster. Characteristics such as courage, fairness, moderation, and wisdom help us become a strong, resilient individual who finds fulfillment in growth and achievement. This does not mean that we should stop caring for other people or withdraw into ourselves. Prioritizing our own development makes us inherently more engaging and likable to other people. Additionally, Stoicism promotes the development of genuine, healthy relationships that are built on understanding and respect for one another rather than neediness or reliance. Encourages emotional resilience as opposed to calling for emotional detachment. Ironically, because we are living our finest, most genuine lives, the less we concentrate on making someone miss us, the more probable it is that they will. Let's begin shifting our focus from obtaining approval to taking care of our inner selves. People are drawn to those that exude confidence, have a strong sense of purpose in life, and are happy with who they are. Let's set aside time to learn new skills. Remember that the purpose of Stoicism is not to repress our desires or deny our need for connections, but to remind us that our happiness and worth are not dependent on them. Developing new interests and strengthening our understanding of who we are and what we stand for on this journey of self-improvement is not only fulfilling in and of itself, but it also makes us more admirable and, yes, missable in the eyes of others. Stoicism is the understanding that our reactions to external events are within our control even if the events themselves are not. This principle is incredibly empowering as it means that we hold the key to our emotional state, granting us a level of independence that is liberating. Emotional resilience, according to Stoicism, isn't about numbing ourselves to feelings or detaching from the world around us. Instead, it's about acknowledging our emotions, understanding them, and deciding not to let them dictate our actions. Let's embrace the Stoic way, focusing on self-improvement and finding joy within ourselves, because that's where true happiness lies. Focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot is what the Stoics advocated. This is a road to emotional resiliency as well as an approach to inner calm. Deep and practical sense of independence arises when we stop letting external factors, including other people's actions or social pressures, dictate our mental health. Being independent provides us the strength and self-assurance to engage with the outside world. It does not imply being alone. Let's discuss emotional resilience in the context of relationships. Stoicism serves as a reminder that, despite our ability to love and care for people, we shouldn't let their presence or approval determine how happy we are. Rather than relying on others or being afraid of being alone, it inspires us to create connections based on sincere connection and respect for one another. We can have meaningful connections without losing ourselves in them by developing emotional resilience. Furthermore, by reminding us that change is the one constant in life and that our ability to adapt to it is a measure of our strength, Stoicism's emphasis on living in harmony with nature and accepting life as it comes strengthens our emotional resilience. It starts with regular self-awareness reflection on our thoughts, emotions, and responses to life's challenges. To adopt Stoicism, we need to examine our views and consider whether our feelings are a result of outmoded notions or the reality of the moment. By doing this, we train ourselves to be our own lighthouses throughout life storms rather than relying on other people for guidance. It also means living in the present, expressing gratitude, and doing things that align with our basic beliefs. The wisdom of those who have come before us helps us in our journey toward emotional resilience and independence, so it's not a lonely one. Our ability to be joyful, resilient in the face of hardship, and able to maintain harmonious relationships all significantly enhance when we apply Stoic concepts to our lives. Living in harmony with one's own nature and the nature of the cosmos is important, as Stoic philosophers like Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and others have often emphasized. Fundamentally, this is about identifying and committing to what is most important in life. The growth of virtue, intelligence, and integrity, rather than external accomplishments or the amassing of riches and honors, is where the Stoics find significance in life. The goal is to act in everyone's best interests. Therefore, to live a meaningful life, we must delve deeply into our inner selves and pose challenging queries about our identity and values. It calls on us to recognize our values and uphold them in the face of difficulties or in situations where it would be simpler to just follow social norms. This entails engaging in communal life and cultivating relationships founded on mutual respect and understanding. In this contemplation, Stoicism serves as a compass by encouraging us to consider both the reasons for our acts and the deeds themselves. Are we doing morally, or are we driven by a need for other people's approval? Stoicism also teaches us the importance of focusing on our controllable circumstances and the impermanence of external events, because it spares us the oppression of trying to control the uncontrollable and concentrates our efforts on areas where we can truly make a difference. This point of view is emancipating. Our individual convictions, choices, and responses to the surroundings in this way, a meaningful existence is less about the achievements we attain and more about how we live and approach each day. Having a Stoic attitude on life also means accepting that suffering and disappointment are unavoidable parts of life. Instead of viewing them as obstacles to happiness, we should view them as opportunities for growth, resilience, and a deeper understanding of the complexities of life. This does not mean that we search for suffering, but rather that we find meaning in overcoming it, learning from it, and moving forward with a strengthened soul and a more compassionate heart in the actual world. It's important to keep in mind that the Stoic path to a meaningful life is one that we walk together, encouraging one another with our collective expertise and experiences. Making a meaningful life requires both big and modest everyday actions. It's evident in the compassion we provide to others, the honesty with which we carry out our work, and the zeal with which we approach our goals. It's in the time we set aside to think about our role in the universe, enjoy nature, practice self-care, and build relationships with others. These deeds, which are based on Stoic principles, combine to make a life well lived. By making Stoicism the cornerstone of our existence, we equip ourselves with the skills necessary to not only overcome but also thrive in the face of adversity, discovering joy, significance, and meaning around every corner. The Stoics discovered early on that a great deal of our annoyance, anxiety, and even despair stems from our intent on controlling the uncontrollable. We often use a lot of energy trying to control things like events, results, and even other people, only to find that a lot of it is out of our control. This realization is not meant to make us feel bad. Rather, it is meant to free us from self-imposed bonds that bound us to illusory expectations. Giving up the demand for control is a recommendation from Stoicism, but it doesn't mean we have to stop being involved in our lives. Rather, it means focusing our efforts on the areas where we can truly make a difference. According to Stoic thought, we can cultivate virtues like understanding, patience, and resilience, as well as discover tranquility and let go of control in our internal environment, where we genuinely have influence over our perceptions, decisions, and actions. Understanding the gap between our efforts and their outcomes is the essence of philosophy. It acknowledges that although we can attempt to influence the former, philosophy also requires a deep acceptance of the way things happen as they naturally happen. The latter often eludes our direct supervision. This Stoic approach also exhorts us to see each moment as a chance to cultivate acceptance and develop our wisdom. It challenges us to reevaluate our ingrained convictions on security, prosperity, and control. When we do this, we frequently find that our real power comes from practical mastery of our inner terrain rather than from trying to control the outside world. This casts work in a more positive light rather than lessening its importance. Accepting adaptability and flexibility is letting up of the urge for control. It's about learning how to face life's obstacles head-on and see them as chances for development and self-awareness. We discover that our relationships get stronger, our stress levels go down, and our appreciation of the present moment rises when we apply the Stoic concept to our life. We also start to see that maintaining equilibrium in our enjoyment does not require control. It entails having an open mind to the unexpected and having the guts to tackle doubts head-on with an open heart. When we set out on this adventure, we discover a life characterized by an enduring feeling of purpose and inner serenity rather than by the external affirmation of control. We discover that letting go of our need for control is a necessary step toward inner harmony and acceptance as we conclude our study of Stoicism and its profound lessons. Regaining our strength in its most powerful form is the goal of Stoicism, not giving it up. The goal is to achieve inner freedom. Adopting Stoicism entails learning to embrace and fully interact with the present moment, to recognize the beauty and simplicity, and to cultivate relationships that are rich in virtue and meaning. It also entails learning to disengage from results that are beyond of our control. This ancient philosophy clearly offers a way of life that is firmly grounded on wisdom, resilience, and peace, rather than merely a collection of precepts. Stoicism guides us through life's ups and downs with grace and serenity by teaching us to concentrate on what really important. The activities and methods we have covered are practical instruments that may be integrated into our everyday lives rather than merely being theoretical ideas. The path of Stoic living does not guarantee an easy or painless existence, but rather something far more precious. The strength to meet challenges head-on, the discernment to make ethically sound choices, and the composure to accept the things we cannot alter. It's about building a stable, inner haven of tranquility that endures despite the raging storms outside. It tells us that even while we might not be able to control the outer world, we still have power over how we see it, decide what to do with it, and react to it. We discover that when we live by Stoic ideals, our ideas about fulfillment, success, and happiness start to shift. We discover that the secret to a deeply meaningful and joyful existence is to live in accordance with our inner values and virtues rather than focusing on obtaining material goods or recognition from others. I appreciate you coming along on this trip with me to Wisdom Life, where traditional wisdom and modern living collide. Together, let's continue to explore and grow in order to gain additional insights. Till the next time, I urge you to see one of the suggested videos on the screen, and never forget that the trip within is the most significant of all.